Welcome back to the E.Jones Show featuring Sharonda and Thalis plus DJ Mark NYC.
Welcome back to the E.Jones Show featuring the First Lady Sharonda in the building. Like I said, the best 1-2 punch in radio is here. You can also catch us coming soon to Cleveland. We will be in the building.
Where's that at again?
Cleveland.
That's what I'm saying. And how many is that now?
That is now 85 syndicated radio stations that the E.Jones Show is on.
All right. That's like 84, 85.
85.
Okay.
We have a special guest in the studio. I said it. I'm going to say it one more again. We have a special guest in the studio. Good friend of mine, Miss Divine Truth, is in the building with us. And she has stories to share with us. But first and foremost, we want to say welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me here, and thank you for making me feel special. You guys are actually the special ones. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
And we appreciate you also too. Definitely, it's not an act to make you feel special. We don't know no better, but to make you feel special.
Thank you.
It's all natural.
It's all natural.
I appreciate that.
So before we get into the nuts and bolts of the interview, I would love for you to tell our listeners a little bit about you, because I know you do entertainment also.
I do. My name is LaTanya Divine Truth Davis. I was born in St. Louis, Missouri. I will be 49 this year. I've been married, thank you, 20 years. I've got a 28-year-old, a 30-year-old, and a 32-year-old out there somewhere that we're looking for. I have a grand princess. Her name is Symphony Monroe. She's 6 years old. I am the caretaker of pretty much everybody in my family. I have 5 dogs and 8 cats.
Oh, Jesus. God bless
Yes, I've been in my house 20 years. And for those of you who don't know, I was a foster child. So I've been on my own since about 16, I guess.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow.
That's impactful from the gate.
See, and I was going to say that, like, I don't even know if you need to tell us anything else.
Yeah, that's
wow.
That's like impactful. Well, let's start off with you said you have had a daughter in foster care. Let's start with that.
Well, no. I was the one in foster care.
Oh, you was in foster care.
Yeah, I was the one that was in foster care. I was actually, my sisters and I spent 4 years in shelters and foster homes. Even with our family who owns and built 2 churches from the ground up, which is really kind of hard for us because we don't understand that, Okay. Children aren't supposed to be in foster homes. You're supposed to have your family and, whatnot. But we had friends that would reach out. Well, long story short, I was assaulted while I was in one of those foster homes, and I had a baby. When I was only 15 years old, I was 14 going into high school. Her name is Latara Sherelle Edwards, and I would like to find this baby. She just turned 30, I just want to say January 7th. She was born in 87. So we're actually going to be, my business partner here, Mr. Cook, Charles R. Cook, we're putting together something with another business partner, Shirley Carter, to help me find her. And we're going to be doing a story about my life. Wow. So we're trying to figure things out.
Okay. How has that impacted you?
Oh my God, it's been really hard.
Take your time.
Wow.
It's hard.
Got this.
It's really hard because I don't know where she's at. But I think about her all the time, particularly pretty much every day, birthdays, holidays, especially with all this sex trafficking and everything going on. I pray that she went to a wonderful family. Mm-hmm. I know I have a lot of explaining to do, but I was just a child myself, and I needed my mother. My cousins were killed like a year before that happened, and in Colorado they don't really like make you go to school or anything like that. They make you work and they emancipate you. Wow. So in Colorado it's better to, I guess, work than to do what you're supposed. Yeah, educate yourself. But it's been really, really hard. I just pray she's doing very well. I wrote a letter to Adams County Social Services when I was 14, 15 years old. I knew I was going to relinquish her. I didn't know right away at first because the foster home that I was in, the lady explained to me that black people do not abort or give their children up. So I ended up being a mother to this child till she was 10 months old, only to relinquish rights. And it's something that I deal with every single day, and it's so hard.
But you know what? She will hear this interview.
Yeah.
And even if not this interview, just the passion that you show and the emotional aspect that you have towards the situation, and knowing what you went through, she will understand. And she will welcome you into her heart.
I pray
I believe that, and I'm going to pray that for you.
That.
Thank you so much, guys. The caseworker at the time was Kathy Hill Young, and like I said, I wrote letters. I want to say she went to a lawyer and a doctor, and I believe I ran into them in the hall when I was 15 years old at that time. But I really wish I could find her, and let her know that she does have a family. I know she has a family. She has a family, but she just have people who love her. Besides the people who have raised her and gave her the world, I'm sure. But I really do miss her.
And we definitely would love for her to re-welcome you back into her world, because at that age and at that time, she can't hold a gripe against you for what you had to do, which was not in your power at that time. But like my sister just said to you, is that we hear the passion coming from your voice. This is not, a sitcom. This is not pre-scripted or any of the above. It's genuine passion coming from your voice.
It's hurt.
And it's hurt.
And it's deep.
And it's real
deeply
deep.
Rooted.
And whatever we can do on our end to help push this out and get her name out and say, hey, your mom is looking for you.
Absolutely.
She want to see you. She want to hug you. She didn't want to talk to you.
Yeah, just let you know that you're loved and you're definitely wanted, despite what she may even know.
Exactly.
Because she may not even know all of what has transpired. But and most times you see, kids feel like, I don't understand why, my parents gave me away. And just to be able to talk to you and hear the truth from you.
She really does, because
she needs to hear your story.
Exactly. I mean, with being a survivor of rape and molestation from the age of 3 to about 8 years old, I mean, that was just something that was really hard. And so that's why we're going to do the story. We're writing this book, The crazy thing is, when I lived in St. Louis, I hadn't lived there since, I'm going to say 76, 75. I don't know if you guys remember the E.Jones Guyana saga.
Yes.
My family was kind of involved in that a little bit. We had people, 3 people down the way from us, this house down the 5 houses, I think, and they were giving us all kind of crazy Kool-Aid and that sort of thing. So we escaped that. So there was just and moved to California. So there's just so much that needs to be said and told. If you ask me, I think this is a bestseller for a book or a movie, because there are a lot of people who don't get their stories out there.
You got my head spinning over here.
Listen, I'm about to be in tears over here. Seriously, oh my God.
Am I squeezing your hand too hard?
No, you're fine.
I'm just happy that we was able to bring you on the show. I was happy that we was able to connect. And she'll tell you, we've been going back and forth on Instagram. Back and forth. And I said, I got to get you on the show. And she was like, why? I didn't have no inside information on her. I just had something pulling me to get her on the show.
Mm-hmm. See, that's God's work.
There wasn't no conversation. She knew I do radio, but I didn't know anything about her. Just I compliment on the pictures. I'll say good morning. She'll say good morning. How you doing, Queen? How you doing, King? It was always a cordial conversation. Mm-hmm. But something said, she got a story to tell. Mm-hmm. And here we have it. The story is being told. And like I said again, I appreciate you. I appreciate our year of friendship. Absolutely. But I appreciate now that I was able to hug your neck and you was able to hug my neck.
Thank you so much.
And you family with us.
Absolutely.
We don't do the friend thing.
Absolutely, yeah. That's funny, because I've been in my house 20 years, and the doorbell doesn't ring because I really don't trust people, but only I trust you guys, obviously, but it doesn't ring unless it's Just for Fab or Shoe Dazzle, the postman, you know what I mean? The doors are open front and back. So, I mean, I've had band members at the house, but other than that, it's just one of those things to where you just you close off the universe.
I understand.
Because of all of what shouldn't have never happened.
Yeah. Well, we definitely don't hurt here. We uplift, we love, we build.
Thank you so
and
much.
Everybody that comes in this circle becomes family, and we are down for each other.
I feel the love. I've
You
seen
know?
the love. I've
Yeah.
seen some wonderful people sit in the seat. As a matter of fact, one of my friends I like to call sat in this seat, Mr. Teddy Riley sat in this seat.
Damien.
Yeah.
Yes, Damien sat in this seat. Yes, yes. So I think Tisha Campbell sat in this seat. So
Yeah.
big up, shout out to you guys.
Now we low key with it,
But we try.
but we try. You know, the whole purpose of the show is to preserve classic hip hop and R&B, but also give everybody a platform to have to tell their story. We don't
Yes.
like to read what someone said.
Nope,
We like to
tell it.
hear
I love
what
it.
someone has to say.
Thank you.
And we're not shock jocks or none of the above. We're not trying to.
It's not for ratings.
It's not for ratings.
It's just real.
It's just real. So when you come here, you're gonna get genuine conversation. No, we don't have a couch, but it's gonna feel like you're sitting on the couch. And,
We don't need a couch.
And you're gonna enjoy yourself. Like I said, we got coffee here for you guys. We got tea. We got donuts.
Oh, it's a nice
you.
kitchen.
You know, hey. We want you to say, Divine, when you came, I came to my brother Eric and my sister Sharonda's house, and they treated me right.
You guys said
Absolutely.
thank you so
And as long as we get that compliment, we good.
Yes.
You already have it. You already have it. I'm wishing you guys a wonderful decade of continued journey in all of your endeavors. Pardon me. And I'm going to be right there with you. Anything that you guys need, just know that my team and I are really huge.
Yes. And,
Really,
and that
really
goes right
huge.
back at you.
So we're gonna find out from the engineer how close we are to a break, because Divine Truth is not going nowhere. Mr. Cook is not going nowhere. We're gonna pay some bills. We're gonna listen to some music. We're gonna tap our feet. We're gonna enjoy ourselves, and then we're gonna come right on back. I'm gonna take y'all to church. We're gonna come right on back.
What back?
Drum roll.
Right on back. And we're gonna sit here and we're gonna continue this conversation with this wonderful queen right here.
And I must say, she is beautiful.
Yes.
You too,
Beautiful.
gorgeous.
Thank you,
Thank you
darling.
so
She
much.
is gorgeous, y'all. Gorgeous.
Now
Like
I'ma
her
make y'all
pictures
laugh.
don't do justice.
Now I'm gonna make you laugh, because I was about to say that. See, when some people come off of Instagram, they be like, their pictures be testifying. Some pictures are testify, and some pictures are test a lie.
Yeah, tell live vision.
And
Lie.
like my sister Sharonda said, Instagram did you wrong, because this is
No,
So
it doesn't.
this is
It does have no justice. I mean, the
Work
pictures
of
on
art.
Instagram are beautiful, but
Beautiful.
in person, her skin is flawless. She's just beautiful.
You too.
Just
and the
beautiful.
energy is
Thank
crazy.
And her
Thank you so much.
smile, and
Oh,
I'm thankful to
here's what
see
you
you
find.
smile through it all,
Thank
because
you.
it's much easier to smile and to be happy than to
Absolutely.
allow all of that to consume you. So I know you have had to forgive in
Yes.
order to heal.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's a hard thing to do, because so much injustice has been done to you. But but through God's blessings, here you are today, and your story can help somebody else.
Yes.
I believe
Because
so.
there's so many other people going out here who don't even talk about it. You know,
Yeah.
that are afraid to say anything because they just don't know, and just afraid because whoever has taken everything from them.
Yep.
This is true.
You know, so I commend you, Queen. I
Thank you.
commend you for standing up and speaking in your truth and letting the world know what things can happen,
Yep.
and how to go about healing.
Thank you so
You
much,
know?
Goddess. I really
and
appreciate
I
that.
pray that this story comes out for you, and that everything works in your favor. And
Oh, it's
I know
gonna
it
come
will.
out.
God is good. 'Cause God
gonna
is
come
All the
out.
time.
and we are speaking that into existence. It's gonna go
come out.
down. It's
Oh,
going
It's gonna
down.
come out. So
Thank you.
Soul Man, you want to take us on a break? We're gonna come back with our guests. We're not going nowhere. Y'all gonna get an earful when we come back. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We're back from our commercial break. Well, our extended commercial break, because our stomachs was growling. So we wanted to
Have
get
some little
some
light refreshments.
light refreshments. Little fellowship. And
Amen.
now we back.
And we back.
And we back. Also we want y'all to know, make sure you tune into the E.Jones show featuring Sharonda on our streaming network, which is the Rewind digital streaming network, which you can catch on Roku starting this Monday. And also you can catch us, me and Sharonda, on the Rewind network, Comcast cable channel 190, in Scranton and Wilkes-Barre and some of the Pocono area. You can also catch us on DETV in Delaware, Channel 28. And you can also catch us in Washington, D.C. on Channel 190, the Rewind Network. Coming soon to Atlanta, GA, soon. And also broadcasting live in the Poconos. And that will be AM and FM. So the E.Jones Show is definitely expanding our legs.
Yes, that's a lot of places to catch us. And
Awesome
let me just be clear one more time. You said when? Monday, which
Monday.
is the what? 13th?
Yep.
That's what's up. So
we
y'all
on
get your
Roku.
Roku sticks out there.
Amen.
Or them smart TVs, baby.
Live and direct.
You can see your girl all day, every day now, y'all.
That's right. And you can hear
Beautiful. I love it.
some of the zany topics that we touch on and some of the great interviews that we have. And this interview here will definitely be on all the platforms that I just mentioned. You can also catch this interview on iHeart, TuneIn Radio, and all the other major, let me stress that, major podcast platforms. You heard me say iHeart.
I heard you. You want to say it again?
iHeart.
Who?
iHeart.
Or iHeart.
We are iHearted on iHeart. So you can catch us on iHeart with over 50,000 downloads to this day.
Wow.
I'm just
That's
saying.
big.
Just
That's
us,
huge.
just our little show.
Oh,
Just saying.
shoot
So
now.
we climbing the ladder. Shout out to our management, Mr. Joe Mason. Also our personal business manager, Miss E.Jones.
Yes.
For making sure they putting us in the right positions and keeping us grounded
Can't
on
go
our
wrong.
journey.
You
on
can't go
2020. Shout out to our boy Greg. I said we gonna shout out Greg Williams.
Greg, that's my dude, y'all.
Shout out to Greg Williams at our resort. He handles the entertainment there. He was in the building with me the other day. We had a great time. Great time.
Yes.
Great time. So we're back with Miss Divine Truth. And we want to talk a little bit now. We're going to go a little bit more deep into your business.
Oh, sure.
I want to talk more about the assault that you was dealt with the police department. And the floor is yours. Take it from there.
Which would you like me to start with?
Walk us through this. How did this all occur?
Are we talking about the business part or
The police part where you was assaulted.
Oh, okay. So basically in 2008, 2009, and 10, I kept getting pulled over. I live in an all Caucasian neighborhood, and I drive an ML 320 Mercedes-Benz. And they kept saying stuff like, pulling me over for like expired tags, no license plates. Well, obviously that was a lie because I had those things. And not to mention being in that neighborhood, I guess it wasn't so helpful, which is the house that I talk about of being there for 20 years. So I've had fibromyalgia for 20 years. This March, coming home from medical school, I was in an accident. Anyway, the first time I was assaulted was, I don't remember the month, but I just remember the year, 2008. Pulled over 2 blocks from my house, and 09 and 10. So I eventually wrote letters to the chief commander, the internal affairs, anybody who would listen who was above the officers themselves. And so in 2012, as I was leaving my house to go get dog food for my babies, it was about 11:15 at night, and I was pulled over. The officer said he saw me. I'm going to name drop. Todd Clifford said he saw me at 11:35. Truth of the matter is there was a tracker on my car from 2008. And it read, "Get rid of this in person. She does not belong in this neighborhood."
Oh, wow.
So once I was pulled over, I came to a light, and the officer could have gone at any time. My light was red, his was green. I proceeded to go east. Once I turned the corner, he pulled me over. Well, tried to pull me over. I was on Wadsworth and Alameda in Colorado. Well, I didn't pull over at first because I was so scared. I ended up calling my daughter, Brittany, on the line saying, "Hey, I just got pulled over." And by this time, everybody knew that I was afraid of the police already, even my doctors, because I was being treated for fibromyalgia. And around that time, February 25th, Black History Month, Obama's second term, everyone knows that, we had a rapist going around in Lakewood pretending to be an officer.
Oh, boy.
So as I was driving, there's nowhere to pull over because there's buildings there, right? So when I get down to the destination, 96 Wadsworth Boulevard, there were 32 cars there.
Oh, wow.
32 cop cars. 19 to 22 cars, but 32 officers. They had guns and everything drawn onto me. So basically, they lured me there. And let me get back to the tracker. I think my house was bugged too because we live over across from like a cul-de-sac. So there was 2 vans, and my husband called to say, hey, there's a car outside. Well, when the officers came to the door, they responded, well, it's not us, because if it was us, we would be doing surveillance, or you wouldn't know if it was us. So when I left my house, they flipped their, the dispatch people. There were 3 people involved in that. So when I got there, I pulled inside right in front of a West Terra Credit Union. 6 to 8 officers surrounded my vehicle. Not one person told me their name or asked me who I was. They just kept saying, get the F out of the car, get the F out of the car. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, do you know who I am? I don't think you have the right person. Mm-hmm. So I told the officer, hey, my insurance is on my phone. And I was scrolling from my phone, let me get the copy out of my glove compartment as well. So he didn't like that. So I finally said, I'm recording you. Because they kept, yelling, get the F off the phone, you know who you are, you need to be, you should be stopped. And so when I said, you're being recorded, he smashed the window in my face. The one who smashed the window was Officer Todd Falsing. He's actually a sergeant. So there were multiple sergeants and detectives there. The name of my book is The Legal Lynching of Divine Truth Davis. So I believe this was an actual legal lynching. It was just crazy. Smashed the window in my face, pulled me out by my hair and neck, opened the door, just beat the crap out of me. Long story short, I had a titanium plate put in my neck on March 8th of 2012. My shoulder was torn in 7 places, so I have no humerus here. And let me see, I had female surgery. I've had 5 knee surgeries. I have a cracked tailbone due to that. I have something called Bell palsy. So I have facial drooping on the right side, 68% hearing loss. I suffered PTSD, panic attacks, migraines, all because I wrote a powerful letter to the chief and everybody in command. They just wanted me out of there because they wanted me out of there. So once it all came to an end, I went to jail, started hemorrhaging in jail, and it was just crazy, They tried to give me pork, something that I don't eat. They wouldn't give me my medications. I was slammed to the ground inside of the jail. And you know what? And those people are still working. Those people are still employed. So I got out of jail only to find out about Trayvon Martin, which I didn't know anything about that. Mm-hmm. Anything at all. But when I went to court, because you have to do the criminal part of it first, they said I didn't have license, insurance, or registration. Well, get this, my license was, my license was suspended like 8 months later. So I had to get it back from them, and I think they have somebody who works at the DMV, because they said I didn't have tags. Well, obviously I had tags. Because my tags this happened in 2012. My tags were 1 of 13 of 2013. So it was just a setup. And I don't know if you guys know this, and most of us are aware that they have literally traded in those hoods, judges too, for badges. I had to fight this. They have literally, legally traded in those white sheets and hoods for badges and robes.
Absolutely.
This is what I have been experiencing. I spoke with 78 attorneys in Colorado.
And nobody wanted
No one would take my case. Not a single person. The one guy who did take my case, Douglas Romero, I gave him $5,000. He ripped me off. He just turned out to be an immigration lawyer. So I had to file against him. So I fought this thing tooth and nail as a pro se litigant. I took it all the way to the district court, all the way to the courts of appeal, all the way to the Supreme Court. I did something called a writ of certiorari. And I actually made a flip chart of everybody who was there, because they give you this thing called discovery, and you have to have all of that. So summary judgment, discovery, what I did was I took all of their background chronological reports, and I looked at everything from their report to what the time that they said that I was at. The first call from Todd Clifford was actually made at 11:27. So if you made a call at 11:27, how could I possibly be 11:35? Exactly. Yep. So when you look at all the paperwork, there was 66 calls to and from before I even got to that destination. So not only was it just officers, once again, lieutenants, detectives, everybody. There were DAs. They just really wanted me out of there. So
But you're still standing.
I'm still standing. I can't. I mean, after being a foster child, not standing, no one can take me anywhere. And it wasn't time for me to go.
Not at all.
Not at all. And I just fought it tooth and nail. Unfortunately, I mailed the writ of certiorari to the wrong department, and up at the Supreme Court. And I'm going to be going back. I settled that, but not nearly for as much as I should have gotten. I'm not allowed to disclose the amount,
right.
but it's just so silly because these people are still working. They were going to kill me. I know they were going to kill me. And what made them stop is I said, Lord Jesus, God, please let there be cameras here. Please, I hope someone's recording. Well, no one was recording as far as the mall strip goes. The bank that I was in front of, the police got a hold of them before I could. So according to the bank, they said they weren't recording from 11 till 12:45 at night. How is that? So why would I pull in? They got a hold of them. But it's just one of those things. So next month is the anniversary. Will be 9 years.
Wow.
And our prayers go out to you, and we're glad that you're still here, even though I know it was a trying moment in your life where you had to go through this nonsense, this abuse,
That's unreal.
this abuse of power that I'm sure a lot of us African Americans go through.
Well, you know what's crazy about that is being a child or just being a person, a sane person, your parents teach you to respect authority. Your elders and your authority, right?
Yes.
So here I'm thinking, I don't have a record, never been in trouble, any of this stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I remember going to court when my mother was supposed to go to court with my sisters and I in the foster system, but she never showed up. Don't get me wrong, I love my mother. As a matter of fact, she lives around the corner from me. I moved her from St. Louis, my husband and I, like 15 years ago. But I remember saying, you got to respect authority. But in the end, at the end of the day, they used to give us, like, those little badges when you go to church for kids, you're going to be a deputy, da-da-da-da-da. But they really don't like us. They really, really don't like us. So I just felt like, okay, here I am, a lady, a woman, who's never been in trouble. I've always respected the law. I've never done anything. But at the end of the day, you're just the N-word again.
Yeah.
And it's really hard. It's really hard. So I didn't want to drive anywhere. I had to take assessor ride. They would come to my house and pick me up. Only one of my doctors testified. There were supposed to be 14 doctors testifying. But once they found out that I was going as a pro se litigant by myself, they backed out. And this is why I knew that I had a case, because those in 08 and 09 and 2010, when they assaulted me, they exacerbated my fibromyalgia. So I had to go to the doctors every time. So there was written statements every time. She was assaulted by the police. I went to the ER. So there was a paper trail.
Right.
There was a paper trail. So when it came down to those surgeries and everything, the one doctor, Dr. Brodman in Colorado, CU Boulder, I love him, man. I'm due for 2 knee replacements right now as we speak. But, you just got to keep pushing through it. But I'm scared whenever I hear sirens. It could be an ambulance. It could be a tow truck. I just pull over. So every day that I get out in my car, and I think most people of color, we are afraid. We are definitely afraid. If I see a cop, I want to turn off. I want to slow down. I never was a person who littered in the first place, but it's even more spookier and scarier than before. The judge, Martinez, I can't remember her name right now. She dismissed my case 2 days before the evidence was due. You have 14 days to make a reply. I put mine in 12 days before, and she dismissed it at 1 o'clock. And I dropped it off at 12:15. I dropped it off at 1 o'clock. So I had to write an appeal to the court. And Chief Krieger says, no, this lady had 2 more days. And so they finally saw my evidence. And so that's again, those that judges with those, with that robe.
Yep.
And but I'm really happy to say that I beat out 2 of the biggest attorneys there, Matthew Haggerty, and I can't think of the other guy right now, but his father, Matthew Haggerty, he's a big-time lawyer. His father's a judge. And you guys know, like I know, this is public information. He got beat by little old me.
Hey, there you
go.
There you
they got beat by little old me because it comes across their desk. You know, the clerk got it, any attorneys that got it, and I'm so happy that I beat that whole thing because I wasn't going to tell any lies. Tell lies for what?
Right.
They're the ones who
right
actually lie.
Yeah.
It's a horrible thing. It is a horrible thing. I do suggest to anyone, if you are going to get pulled over, you have a right to keep your window rolled up 2.5 to 3 inches. Okay. If you are going to record, do not tell them that you are recording. Please do not tell them that you're recording because they're going to say that you're resisting or you're not listening, you're not obeying or something like that. And you need to learn the laws. You need to learn the statutes.
Absolutely.
Please learn the statutes. Make sure you have no warrants. Your tags and everything are up to date.
Everything is right.
Everything. You have your insurance. And just keep a clean nose.
And keep your hands visible.
Keep your hands. That's the next thing I was going to say. Keep your hands at 10 and 2 or 9 and 3 or whatever it is. Keep your hands on the wheel at all times.
Keep them all at 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock. There you go. You can do that too. But they literally wanted me dead. They wanted me dead, and those people are still there.
So, has the community been blessed with additional people of color?
No, ma'am. I live in, like I said, Caucasian neighborhood. There's some Asian people who've been there before us, but no, we're the only people of color, of dark color that were there.
And your mother.
No. My husband and my uncle live there. My mother lives around the corner, like 15 minutes.
Okay, so it's a slightly
7
different
minutes
area.
away. Yeah,
Okay.
slightly different. But no, it hasn't changed. And like I said, these guys, they still have their jobs.
Have your husband ever had any interactions with them, or is it just you?
Just me. He's the youngest of 6. As a matter of fact, he works nights at a grocery store, and he was pulled over walking to work, asking what he was doing in the neighborhood. And he said, I worked here. As a matter of fact, he used to be in construction. He actually helped build that police station.
Oh, boy.
Yes, ma'am. He actually helped build that, and I'm so happy that we're touching on this because one of the things that Mr. Charles R. Cook and I do, while we just had a very successful meeting with the gentleman in Philadelphia. Where were you just at?
Harrisburg.
He is the Secretary of Pardons. So we're going to be teaching the inmates how to clean their records, how to do child support. We're also going to give them opportunities to work in the field that we're in, whether it be TV, radio, literature. We also have something that's really top secret that I can't talk about that yet. But we're going to teach them what they kept calling me. You think you're a jailhouse lawyer. You think you're a jailhouse lawyer. No, I don't think that. I just read your statutes. I just read. I'm smart and I can get everything in. So the one guy got mad at me because I said to him, one of the attorneys, he said, no, I'm not a jailhouse lawyer, but I don't have all the receipts that you have on your wall. And he says, receipts? What are you talking about? I said, I think it says Princeton and Harvard over there. I did your job. But if you Google my name, LaTanya Davis, there I want to say 78, I think there's like maybe 107 articles out there about me. I never did one interview. Baltimore, Tennessee Times, New York Times, because it's public information. So it's just keep your nose clean, man. Yeah. I don't care who you are. And I will say this: I'm not talking down about officers because we do need them. We need them.
And we have some good ones.
And we do have some good ones. We don't need Nazis with badges.
No,
that's what we don't need. In or out of uniform, and behind robes or the courthouses, because that pen is a legal weapon. They will beat you.
And they suck it.
They will beat you with that pen.
Yeah.
What are the odds that dispatch would be saying, okay, she left and here she is, but I've got a huge paper trail. They knew that. First of all, they didn't want to go to court because I wanted to take it to trial. Okay. But they wanted to settle. And I was appointed some wonderful lawyers, Dentons, Dentons. Their head office is right across the street from the White House. They have one in China, one in Australia, and one in Africa. So these people were totally awesome. They really helped me. And I am so Lauren Carboni, Quincy Stout, and Leo Limpaniski, who's also a judge right now. He actually said I should go to school to be a lawyer because he's never seen someone so intelligent put a case together like this. And I told him I wanted to be a judge, and he said I could do it.
Amen. Amen.
So here we are.
Listen, when they say reading is fundamental,
It really is.
don't take these things for granted. Read, learn, and comprehend what you're reading. And if you don't comprehend what you're reading, do some more research. Google stuff. YouTube has everything out there.
Tutorials.
Everything.
And like she
So
said,
it's-
comprehend.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
if you come across something, you don't understand what you're reading, 9 times out of 10, you can Google it and it'll be a video explaining it step by step.
I'd like to touch on that. When I was a kid, I used to stutter so badly. So badly. Remember that movie Harlem Nights where the guy stuttered all the
Yep.
time? I was worse than that. And it would upset my mother. But I had a teacher in 3rd grade, Mrs. Woods. I will never forget this lady or her face. She would always call me to read. And the kids would make fun of me. So I vowed from that day on, I read every dictionary, botanic gardens of encyclopedias.
See?
I just read. As a matter of fact, I'm still an avid reader. I carry my Nook everywhere. I watch a little bit of TV, but reading, and like you guys said, it's all on Google.
Yeah.
It's all on
Reading
Google. And
is
then
fundamental.
you have LexisNexis, which is what the lawyers use. It's a legal, a legal system. I also went to the law libraries. I didn't sleep one time for 98 days. And one of my doctors, pain management, Dr. Jason Crutch, he says, we're going to admit you in the hospital because you
that's
look
not
so
healthy.
tired. So what they ended up doing is giving me Valium because I was on that, and he just gave me a little bit in the IV. But as a result of all of that, I have really bad migraines. So I get occipital nerve blocks right to this day. I get suprascapular nerve blocks, which are in my shoulders. I also get trigger point injections, anywhere from 35 to 60 shots from my neck down all the way to my tailbone. I also get epidurals, and women know about those. And I get sciatic nerve blocks just so I can walk. So that's why going to the gym for me was already important, but it's even more important now.
You gotta definitely keep your
Yeah.
body together.
And before that, and this is crazy, I've only had handicap plates. So when they pulled me over, I've had disabled plates for 20 years. Coming home from medical school, I was in a bus accident. So that rendered me in a wheelchair for 5 years. So 8 years married, 8 months married in the house for only 4. So yeah, it's just really crazy. It really changed my life. I must say that my husband is an amazing person. Christopher Creighton Davis, Christopher Creighton, Knowledge Born. I love you so much. Thank you. I love my girls. They were so supportive. They did so great in school, so great. And I would say this to people: if you have somebody that you truly love and you want to be around, most people walk out because of finances or whatever. He stayed. He stayed. My girls continue to get straight A's all the way across the board. My husband washed my hair, wiped my butt. I mean, everything. Had to give me showers. They wanted to bring a strange person to clean my house.
Devon, you know your purpose, right?
I do.
you go.
And because I am a survivor, I don't really trust people. I didn't want some strange person in my house. So they paid my husband to take care of me, because he had to quit that job at Opus where he helped build the police station.
Yeah.
So I just, it's just one of those things where you just...
And I want to
Oh my
touch on
God.
something. I want to touch on something real
Sure.
quick. You heard what she just said. They paid her husband.
Yes, caregiver.
Caretaker. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I need y'all to understand that you don't have to take a home aid or home health aid.
No,
You
you
do
don't.
not. You just do what you're born to do.
You can have a family member, a close friend, come in and take over those duties for you and take care of you.
You know what's so funny about that? Whenever I go pick up my medication, I have Medicare and AARP. I've had that for 20 years. And some of I've heard some of the people go, when you get old, and when you're my age, you're never gonna get Social Security. Correction, lady, I'm on Social Security right now, 20 years. And it's like, who's supposed to be on Social Security? 20 years,
Yeah.
already 20 years. That means I was what 29. That's absurd.
No, we thankful that God has blessed you through all the turmoil that you went through in life,
And she's still standing.
and you're
I'm
still
still standing
standing
and
because
beautiful.
God has a purpose for
Yeah.
you. He wants you to survive so you can share your story, not his story, but your story,
Absolutely.
so other people
Thank you.
can absorb what you went through. And maybe some people can avoid the curveball,
Yes.
and maybe some people can't avoid the curveball. But you are now the blueprint of how to make sure that you survive this, because that's the key thing: survival. A lot of times we go through very traumatic things in life, and we can't survive. The first thing we want to do is either put a gun to our head or drink a cold cup of bleach or whatever and end the pain.
And see, that's where one thing with everything that I've been through, I have never turned to drugs or alcohol, prostitution, and never that. My mother never did that. She never brought any crazy men in her house or different men. She worked, she was a single mother of 4 girls. And she always taught us failure is never an option.
Never.
We weren't allowed to say ain't.
Never.
We weren't allowed to say can't.
Yeah.
She always taught me the first impression is the best impression.
Yep.
You never get a second chance to make a first impression. So, and I live by those words daily. I mean, like daily, like for real. And it's something that has to be done and said. Can I leave my information? Is it okay?
Yes, you can.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, guys, if you want to get a hold of me, you can reach me at divinetruthdavis@gmail.com. That is divinetruthdavis, and it's DIVINETRUTH Davis @gmail.com. For singing, songwriting, you want to learn how to write letters, you want to... we're working with some of the prisoners who, jailhouse lawyers, you want to learn how to put a compose your case together. We're here for that. My telephone number is 702-918-7639. That's my Vegas number. Or 303-517-5945. That is my Colorado number. And one more thing. We're going to be in North Carolina this week, the 17th to the 20th, doing a 9th annual MLK Unity in the Community with Big Show Fletcher, 10,000 plus bikers. So for those of you who know me, you know I ride. Harley's where I live. Wheels up, wheels up.
All right. We want to thank Miss Divine Truth for coming in, sitting at our table with us, giving us great conversation,
Absolutely.
helping, fight. I'm fighting the tears back
Thank you for having
because
me.
I got a little emotional,
I saw you.
because I felt that. And
Thank you so
I'm a
much.
man, but I'm a man with a heart.
You're a
A
human.
man with emotions, too.
And when I hear stories like this, I get upset, I get angry, but then I also say, Eric and Sharonda, you guys got to continue to keep using this platform.
Absolutely.
This, and I tell her this all the time from other people that tells us, but I tell her that I say everybody that sees our show, hears our show, they said you guys are special. And at first, I couldn't grasp that we're special. It kind of irked me a little bit because I'm not a spotlighty person. But 2020, I embrace us being special.
Absolutely. You are special.
And I embrace us to continue to use this platform
Special.
to change lives. We might not can't change everybody's life, but if we could change a couple of people's lives, then we did our job.
True indeed. True indeed.
And if we can make a couple of people smile, we did our job. So we're going to continue to keep doing what we do, and that's providing the listeners with good stories. It might be emotional at times, but you're getting a story that's from the person's mouth, and you're not getting a story that you saw in the newspaper.
Absolutely. It's
or
the
any of the
authentic
above. It's authentic.
self.
As my mom used to say, you hearing it from the horse's mouth.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
It's no he say, she say. It's what she said. So
I'd like
that's
to give
how
a
we do it.
thank you so much. I'd like to give a shout out to our business partner who couldn't be here, Malik Aziz and Seed of Righteous. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for everything.
Salute to y'all also.
right.
And I want to say thank you to Soul Man on the boards. I'm going to say thank you to
Thank
Mr.
you.
Phil Jackson from Shootworks
That's right.
Jackson.
behind
That's
the
right.
camera doing this thing, making sure that we look right and tight.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Because Big E here every night.
But wait,
dope.
now this segment of the E.Jones Show is sponsored by Smell My Love by Sharonda. Feel free to email me at smellmylovebysharonda@gmail.com, and I customize, and for those that want customized items, I actually name my item after you.
Absolutely.
So
Thank you.
I look forward to hearing from you all.
That's right.
You guys
That's
too.
right.
It's been real.
It's
This has been a
definitely
blessing.
real. It's a blessing. I'm glad that we was able to pull this off. I feel great about it.
I can't wait to come back.
I we
Can't wait to have you.
back.
Maybe I can sing for you guys next time.
Yeah, bring
It'll
more-
be great.
Bring some more.
Yes.
Come on through, Mr. Cook. You already know. I ain't inviting you back. You
And
know
we
you can come
thank
back.
Yeah.
You know you could come back, bro. And also, I want to, before we even go off the air, I want to say our next guest is Mr. William L. Johnson. For those who don't know who William L. Johnson is, he was in a movie called Blue Hill Ave. He will be our next guest. He has new music, and he has a couple of films that he's putting on BET. So that'll be our next guest. That'll be Tuesday's guest. So again, Mr. William L. Johnson. If you don't know who he is, look it up. Google him.
I'm like, oh, that's who that is?
That's who he is. Live, direct, Phil, if you don't know who that is, here you go.
I know who he be.
Mr. William L. Johnson right here. For those who don't, let's put it in the camera so they can see it.
Nice.
There you go.
Yeah. All right.
From the movie.
See, now you see his face, you be like, oh, yeah, I know
yes,
that
I know
is.
that is, absolutely.
Talented singer.
Yes.
Got some new music and plus new films coming out. And like I said, he was in the movie Blue Hill Ave. He was the one that was knocking off the friends.
Wow.
He's a friend that I did not want to be my friend. Ladies and gentlemen, just so y'all can find us, you can also find us on Instagram at The E.Jones Show featuring Sharonda. On Facebook, same thing, The E.Jones Show featuring Sharonda. Topic, and that's also like page. You can also follow us on Twitter at The E.Jones Show also too. Any inquiries on business, advertising, and anything else, you can reach out to us at The E.Jones Show at gmail.com or contact our manager, Mr. Joe Mason, at Joe Never Stop ENT on Instagram, and he'll handle that too. Coming soon, we have the E.Jones Show featuring Sharonda phone app that we'll be unleashing real soon. And like I said, our show on the Rewind Network, channel 190. That's PA. That's Delaware 28. That's also Washington, D.C. 190. And coming soon to Atlanta, GA, the E.Jones Show. And also you can catch us on Rewind Digital on Roku. So we have plenty of platforms that you can catch us. So with that being said, the E.Jones Show signing off. We got some great music coming up next. Soul Man, take us out with the fade.
E.Jones Show. E.Jones Show. E.Jones Show.